summer field school. Yeah, there are field stations for marine science, for forest science, probably for geology. And spending the summer at a field station is so much fun. Because you're there with like all the nerds, and you spend all your time having conversations about like what organisms you saw that morning. And and the course, you can take courses through field stations, so it's not like super competitive. And then most of them are field-based. So that could be a really neat way of sort of expanding your horizons and getting in a little bit of a research environment and picking up something you don't offer.
A lot of the big marine science stations have, it may not be a specific course on geology, but it's sort of included, right? Some of the core tenets of marine science is geology, so yeah.
And some marine labs will offer scholarships to take those summer courses. I did a summer course at Friday Harbor Marine Lab. And I got a scholarship to do that. So,
and
it was cheap.
Taking courses is not the same.
We need to have a separate conversation.
Yeah, go to Friday Harbor if at all possible.
Yeah,
I applied for their RU.
It's pending.
This is,
apply for the
we'll
course.
see.
Yeah.
That's a great place to be.
Well, I have to say, this is maybe on your list of parting thoughts. How was it? I absolutely love my master's experience. It was just fantastic. And I absolutely love my PhD experience. And some people say, oh, but you put off life. No, that was life. That was a wonderful period in both cases of life I spent, and I will never again regret that time spent. And a lot of it is finding your passion. So.
Did you go straight through?
2 years off in between master's and PhD. 2 years off.
Yeah. I went straight through.
I took a year off and yeah. And something that sort of alludes to what you said and what you said is that pick a place you want to live.
Yeah, location
That-
is important.
Yeah, and there's a lot of discussion these days about graduate students and mental health. And that's true, that it can be a bumpy time in life. It can be a difficult transition into this level of responsibility and that kind of thing. And so pick a place, like go to Florida if you want that balance of sun versus lab time, right? Or stay near your family if you know that's going to be a big support or something like that. Or don't move out in the middle of nowhere if you think you might do some online dating. Just saying.
Barely started. 4 years on
Yep.
the Eastern Shore.
I think I ended up here, not Virginia. So, so think about your personal life. Think about what you want your life outside of school to look like. Like if if University of Alaska Fairbanks has the best thing ever for you and you have seasonal affective disorder, don't go there. So that's a really important consideration, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
And I also would add that, but be open as well, right? So I grew up in Southern California, lived in Central California, close to the desert, had all these great things, and I ended up moving to Indiana. And I didn't even know where Indiana was. It turned out it was so far removed, and it really has sort of obviously changed my whole life and my whole perspective on life. And I don't think I'd want to move back to Indiana because it's so cold. But my research involved going out to streams and sampling insects, and it doesn't get any better than that. So Dr. Atkinson said, he looks back on that as some of the best times in your life, and it should be. It really is, and I'm not any happier outside of chasing herps than sampling aquatic macroinvertebrates in a creek. It's just, who wouldn't want to be just surrounded by water and sampling all the things that nobody even knows it's there? It's really awesome. So that's, happy times, even in Indiana.
And I would say too, just beyond that, like even the location where the school is might not be the location for research. We found an advisor that travels elsewhere. So I did my master's in northeastern PA, like 40 minutes outside of New York City, but that's where the school was. But I did my research in Costa Rica. So kind of escaped the whole PA winter thing whenever I could and just went down to the tropics. So at the same time, exercise that travel bug. It's sometimes it's cool to step out, and going like the master's first and then the PhD is kind of the way I always wanted it, because I wanted to kind of get my feet wet, be 100% sure this is what I wanted, and then go forward.
Yeah, and that's something that's queryable too, right? You
Yeah.
query whether or not those
Yeah.
you're looking at travel for their
Yeah,
research.
yeah.
You can target those. And for my postdoc, I'm convinced the reason I got my postdoc was because I had travel experience
Yeah.
and I was bilingual. So
Yeah.
those language skills are important to people.
Ask Julie
Can
about,
we get Julia?
Oh,
Yeah.
Esther.
about
She
like
can
how
hear.
Kansas.
Yeah, when I told people I was moving to Kansas, I got the weirdest looks. Like everyone, why would you ever want to move to Kansas? And it's been a big adjustment. I mean, I grew up in Hampton Roads. I've lived there my whole life until 6 months ago. So it's definitely been a big adjustment, but I picked it based on the program and my advisor. And now I get to do some of the really awesome things. Like right now, I'm planning a trip to go to Yale just to visit some of their collections because I can. So just because you pick somewhere that you're like, why the hell would anyone live there ever, especially if it's there from somewhere like the beach, think about what the opportunities that could come from it instead of like short-term things. So I think there's a lot of reasons why, but people just look at the surface level, so take it all into account, I think. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Quick side note, the Peabody Museum at Yale is really awesome.
Yes, it is, and I can't wait to go.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I know I'm just full of it. Funding. Go to some place that will pay you.
Yeah.
At least for part of your time.
No,
Yeah. That big universities have teaching assistant positions and graduate students get paid to teach, and you hopefully should get health benefits and things like that too. Professors get funding and will pay you to help them with their research. There are also fellowships. The National Science Foundation has a graduate research fellowship that is independent of an institution, and the deadline for that is like October. But if you get one, you can basically go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you have funding. You're
Yeah.
carrying, it's 3 years, and you're carrying your funding with you. So it gives you a living stipend and pays your tuition.
What did you say that was called?
It's the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship Program. I can send out a link to it. And it's competitive, but they also give honorable mentions, which doesn't give you money, but can help you get in somewhere. So,
gotta have good resource for that though.
yeah, you do.
That's what killed me.
Yeah. And I don't know of other programs like that. Well, sometimes the EPA doesn't have STAR fellowships anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that
So,
stop.
There
but
may
that
be
was
some
one.
disciplines.
It's worth looking into. There might be some other options out there for sure.
But if you can't, like, you don't have to go to grad school immediately. And if you can't get into a program that's going to pay you, work for a little bit.
Yeah.
Be a lab tech. Being a lab tech in somebody's lab means you're in the academic environment, but you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And if that project fails, you walk away. So it's a really good way of getting your feet wet, making new connections, but not committing to a degree. So, and there are field tech jobs. I knew someone who skipped around doing all sorts of field jobs for
Where can you find advertisements for lab tech positions?
Yeah, so Ecolog is a good place to go for them. Yeah. I don't know if Eagle here is still in existence or if it has
Some of Some of the major
Yeah.
societies will have pages, and then if you just Google Texas A&M Wildlife Job Board,
Oh, yeah.
everything's posted there too, in addition to the Ecolog. We can send out links as well.
Yeah.
Just love the digital versions.
And
But
some
then
of
you can
it-
search by location, by topic, keywords like ecology, evolution.
And some of it is connections. Talk to your professors and ask them to talk to their colleagues.
Yeah.
Or go to a meeting and sort of advertise yourself as looking for a tech job.
Yeah.
Yeah, most conferences will have job boards.
Right.
Can I super quick, sorry, how important would it be to ask about, like, where the graduates go. Like, are they getting teaching positions right away? Are they getting research? Like, so you know there's return on your investment. Like, does the school provide support for that, or I don't know. Are those questions to ask? You know, for some grad programs, you definitely want to ask that to make sure there's ROI. But I didn't know for this field if it's just you'll have a pick of jobs to choose, or
I think for a master's program, it's probably useful to know where people go.
okay.
And that's partially because the culture of the master's program may like be a mill for many people who go into this field.
Okay.
PhDs are different.
Yeah.
If you don't know why you're getting a PhD, you probably shouldn't be getting one. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
shouldn't be the program. Maybe you need to look at the program. But
Yeah. Okay.
You can contact, like, if the lab website's updated, which is always really nice. But
Yeah.
if it's updated, let the alumni maybe email them and see, like, where did you end up? Because it might just be like a picture or a name and email, and usually, especially if it's through like PhD, they might be published, so their email just might be somewhere out there, like ResearchGate or Academia or one of those. Like, try to find them and just see what they're doing. You know, you might get a sense there, even if you don't get a direct one from the advisor.
Right.
At least where I got my master's, they kept a running list. I don't know if they still do because they've had lots of graduates. The program was new when I started there, but they kept track of all of their graduates and it listed right on the website where they ended up.
Yeah. And most professors will have that on their CV or something, where they'll indicate their recent graduates or not so recent and where they are now, because it's part of the program. Right? We all want to know. Like virtually everybody in my cohort went into academics, but that's sort of what we ended up doing. But a lot of the previous folks did not. But they're still all doing their thing.
And I don't know if this is still the culture, but sometimes Research 1 professors have this sense that if you do not become a Research 1 professor, then they have failed. You know? And so they might not put on their website, like one of the people I got a PhD with now works for the Department of Natural Resources in Wisconsin. But I don't think our advisor either knows or cares, but that's a different story. But that's the sort of thing that some advisors would not be proud of. That there really is sometimes a culture of like, I'm going to raise other people exactly like me. And so if that's not what you want, then maybe, or if they have graduates who go on and do other things that aren't lined up with their PhD training, they may not brag about it.
So the PhD is a whole other world, and everyone here, I think, had a master's first, and I think if you pick if you pick 5 professors in chemistry upstairs, I bet you at most one of them would have a master's. So it really sort of depends on your subdiscipline, how common it is. But I think even for anybody planning to go to academia, there's a lot of value in having a master's level experience before you do that.
But you so much more opportunity to publish, right? About your publication before you apply to PhD.
I didn't do a master's, and I think I would have benefited from one a lot. And I sort of ended up doing a postdoc that was really beneficial. So I felt like I had 2 training experiences, but one was a postdoc instead of a master's and a PhD.
All right, it is 5 o'clock. Yeah, I at least need to go pick up my son from preschool. So,
Awesome.
thank you guys for
Yeah, thank you guys for coming.